All right, you are tuned into MMA Canada and very excited to be talking to quite the intriguing UFC debutante set to go for October the 18th, a UFC debut that I've been wanting to see for quite a while now. And anyone who follows the Canadian regional circuit could understand that. And UFC Vancouver definitely looking like a great card when Tainara Lisboa takes on Melissa Croden, and great having Melissa as part of the MMA Canada platform today. How are you doing, Melissa?
I'm really good. Really good. How are you today?
Yeah, no, doing well, doing well. Just it seems like it's one of these almost like inevitable kind of situations in a way, like from I guess my perspective as an outsider who has followed your career. But just when did you, or I guess rather, what did you feel when you, I guess, got the call about this UFC contract offer? Like I saw you had a post talking about how life has felt, chaotic, but in the best way. So just curious to hear you expound upon the feelings when you, I guess, were made privy to the fact you'd be making your UFC debut.
Um, yeah, I think like the last year or so has been really hard as far as like being patient and waiting and trying to make smart decisions as far as my career as an athlete. So I don't know. It's required like a lot of patience, a lot of like internal motivation to keep showing up to training when nothing has been scheduled. And my managers have been really helpful in that way to reassure me and like tell me, okay, we're working on it, we're pushing for you, like the opportunity's coming. And I think I just had all the right people around me to guide me in making those decisions. But it has honestly been really hard to remain patient and not like just take a bad match for the sake of taking a bad match and risking a loss. So there's like a lot of, you kind of have to, you got to play a little bit of chess in this game to get to where you want to be. So it's been interesting navigating that side of things. And then when I found out, it was just like a huge, huge surreal feeling of relief and like just one of my most memorable moments of my life for sure. It was intense. It was really cool getting that kind of news.
Yeah, and that insight is so valuable because, like I said, someone like me who I guess is like a fan and even like media personality, it's kind of easy for me to be like, oh, yeah, Melissa Croden making the UFC debut. Like, this seemed like it was inevitably going to happen. But yeah, just someone like yourself at the nucleus of it, it's something that has to be like immensely stressful at certain points and just that uncertainty. And like you said, kind of playing that game of not wanting to like take a bad matchup for the sake of it. So just yeah, I love to see that everything kind of panned out in this moment, and especially on a Canadian card, no less. Like that has to be a very cool component also.
Yeah, definitely. I'm as soon as I saw that UFC was going to Vancouver, I immediately messaged my management and was like, "Okay, let's get this done. Like this is my chance. Like I'm not getting any younger. I'm gonna, incrementally start getting better, but as far as like how I fight, there's not going to be a ton of change. I think I'm there as far as, belonging and having the proper experience to fight with the best of them. Um, so yeah, I would like it all just kind of worked out as it should have. And, you know, maybe before when I was like feeling a little bit frustrated on what to do with my career, like I thought I was ready like years ago, but now I know that God always has a plan, and like I think this is my time, and I feel very confident in that. So yeah, life is weird that way. Like timing, just it is everything with certain things. So yeah.
Yeah, well said. And it's just cool rather to see that groundswell of support you seem to have been getting. Like you fought in LFA before and have done great things there. And they voted you their female fighter of the year for 2024 and gave you a
No,
performance
no,
of the night.
I was just uh up to be
Oh, in the
voted for
running.
that.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
actually win it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, even like
I
the
tried.
performance of, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I'm not very popular, you know,
Well, I think
on the
the fact
grand scheme.
yeah. I mean, that performance of the night distinction though at LFA
Yeah.
195. So it just seems like they have a certain level of esteem for you and congratulating you on the UFC signing and talking, about LFA greats and LFA alumni. So kind of cool to see that piece as well and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. LFA, I have a good relationship with. Like Ed Suarez actually um, sponsored me to get my athletic visa, and they helped. And Mark Beery helped me out a lot when I was trying to get that all set up in case a short notice fight came up that was outside of Canada. So I was prepared for a short notice as well because that's what I thought was going to happen. Um, didn't expect to get outright signed and have a full camp at all. So that was a huge surprise. But yeah, LFA and I think have a really good relationship, and it's cool to be in that group of alumni with LFA with some of the greats you see in UFC now. So yeah, it's kind of a honorary thing, a rite of passage, if you will.
Yeah, no, it's great to see. And just, yeah, it seems like there's some, I guess, stacked Canadian representation on the card as well, which I mean makes sense being that it's in Vancouver, but just love to see, some of the names like Mike Malott and Eamon Zahabi, Kyle Nelson, Charles Jourdain, Jasmine Jasdavicius. You could keep going on. So just love to see that. Like I've been saying this for a little bit now to different people within the Canadian regional scene. Like it feels like where like poised for something big. Like the Canadian athletes really seem like they're poised to like make a big mark and kind of have like a new era of Canadian MMA athletes if we're not already in it right now, so to say.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I think I feel that way as well. Like, not to get like political or anything, but I think Canada is weird in that way where we're all passive and nice until we're not and we'll be passive for a while and then we're like, okay, this is enough. Like the Freedom Convoy, for example. Like everyone's like, you know, like applying the rules that the government gives them, and then finally like we can't do this anymore. So I think it kind of you're seeing that personality come out within the MMA world as well. Like I kind of like to observe it as myself because it's just funny to watch that different countries have their different cultures and personalities. And I think Canada definitely has a passiveness, but until enough is enough. And I think that what you pointed out is true for sure. I think Canada is sick of having all these great fighters not getting signed, and we're slowly rising up to the occasion, I think, to represent that, hey, we have athletes as well. There's not as many of us, like, compared to the States, but there are some talented fighters here. And yeah, they deserve the recognition as well and the opportunities.
Yeah, well said. Wholeheartedly agree. And I feel like even relative to the division you're entering, I feel like it's one of the more exciting times, if not like a rejuvenated kind of time. Like I feel like with Kayla Harrison being the champion and the talks of Amanda Nunes returning to fight her at some point, like that seems to be still unspecified as far as like the when and where and all that. But just to say, it seems like the 135-pound division is pretty rejuvenated now. Like there's a certain, I guess, shot in the arm, as some might say, like a certain level of rejuvenation or excitement to it.
Yeah, and I think that's been, you know, about to boil over for a couple years now. It's definitely needed some some turnover, and I think when Amanda retired, um, that's when there was movement, and I think she probably misses it. Like it's hard to retire from a sport you are in love with, so for her to come back, I think is for sure going to bring excitement and more attention to the division itself. But yeah, like there's not it's hard to find bantamweights even to train with. Like we're probably the hardest of the you know of the few women that do this. It's the hardest weight class to find quality training partners in. So when you do find them, it's like finding a unicorn. Um, and yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with that for sure.
I think that speaks to why there's such like a cross training kind of culture. I mean, even with like women's bantamweights in general, but just with the microcosm of your career, because in doing some backgrounding on you, it seems like you've trained at quite a few gyms over the years. Like it seems like, well, I mean, in Western Canada specifically, like you've gotten in different looks at like Champions Creed and Canadian Martial Arts Center. From what I've seen, it seems like Alavanca has been the main space for a while, but even like some work you've got in like Texas, and I saw you at Syndicate MMA, so it kind of speaks to your point in a way of needing to like really, I guess, get outside of that immediate bubble to find the relevant individuals to hone those skills with.
Yeah, I've always been like that since my amateur career. I've always outsourced my training partners because, it's a male dominated sport. Um, so you you have to do that. You have to find people, specifically females, that are better than you at MMA because there's no way that you can get better without it. You can't be a big fish in a small pond because you're not gonna, it's just gonna bite you in the butt eventually because you need those challenges. So, like, when I was amateur, sorry, I'm just walking my dog. There's a bit of noise.
No worries, you're all
But
good.
yeah, when I was when I was amateur, um, I went to Jackson Wink for like four of my camps, I think, and was training with Holly and Michelle and some of the girls that were really good. And like, I was a baby in the sport. Like, I didn't have any wall work, like hardly. My grappling wasn't very good. Like, I was always been confident in my striking, but like, it was rough. And I would go by myself and stay in the dorms there. But it really exposed me to different ideas, different looks, as far as training partners go. And yeah, so I've been traveling for a long time for that specifically. And I've met amazing people along the way. Like, it's a small community once you're in it for a while. So I've made a lot of good friends along the way.
Yeah, no, I love to hear that. And it's culminated in this, UFC debut, which is going to be great to see. And your opponent initially had like a 5 fight winning streak rolling last time out in May, submitted by Luana Santos, but still some strong victories prior over, Jessica Rose Clark and Ravena Oliveira. I guess, like, in totality, like, what do you think of Lisboa's skill set and general resume heading into this UFC Vancouver fight with her?
She's really, really well rounded. I think this fight could go pretty much anywhere. Um, so yeah, I'm pretty familiar with her striking style. Like, I've dealt with people that have her striking style. And so I kind of like bullies, like forward pressure fighters, because I like to counter a lot. But I've been working on like a few different things to have in my back pocket to have the advantage in this. And I think my wrestling and my grappling I haven't had a chance to really use it. I haven't had to. So I think it's going to be like underrated. So like, I like that people don't know much about my grappling because yeah, I don't think, I think people will be surprised by it when I get the chance to use it. So yeah.
That must impart a certain level of confidence, just knowing that you have this level of skill set within the submission grappling that maybe, people through like the competitive observation sense, like maybe haven't got to quite see as of yet, or maybe your opponents are underrating it, like that kind of sentiment. Like, I would think that would impart a certain level of confidence for you, just knowing that you have those skills and everything like that to break out like a sort of extra hidden tool, almost, for lack of a better way to phrase it.
Yeah, it's kind of nice when you know you have a few hidden tools here and there, but it's also another unknown, right? Like, is this gonna work? Like, do I feel confident in this specific movement? Like, how do I recover if it's fail? Like, for example, if I were to take down, go for a shot to take down, what do I do if it fails? Like, there's always gonna be so many unknowns, and a fight's a fight, so it's unpredictable. Like, you see people get outclassed by, you know, people that shouldn't be outclassed, but be outclassing them, if that makes sense. So it's an odd sport that way. Like, you never know what could happen. She could throw a spinning hook kick and freaking knock me out in 30 seconds. Like, it's just unpredictable. But I think when you have solid fundamentals and you have people around you that build your confidence, strengthen your mental game, then you should be okay. So I've been working on a lot of fundamental stuff, keeping things simple, making sure my mind is right, and I've been successful at all of those things this camp. So I'm in a good place, we'll say.
And you were talking about the unique striking style of your opponent and some of those attributes and etc. Some other, prominent strikers in the sport that are also Brazilian mixed martial artists. Since we're on the subject, I saw Alex Pereira had some complimentary things to say about your archery skills. I saw that video circulating on Instagram. What was it like, kind of, taking all that in? That must have been cool.
It was really cool. Yeah, it's kind of like you get a little bit of imposter syndrome because like I'm just me being me, and to get recognized by someone that you look up to as a fighter, it's weird. It's like I'm not used to that kind of attention. So, um, but then at the same time, I'm also used to being around really famous fighters. Like when I went to the PI, you get used to seeing these people that you see on TV when they fight, and it just becomes kind of part of your life, and it's not really any big deal because they're just regular people. But when it's like becomes a media thing, it kind of changes your feeling on it. You're like, oh man, like I wonder what people think about me, like. But then at the end of the day, I honestly couldn't give a crap what people think about me because like I said, I'm in a really good place. Like the people that I love and that the people that love me, like care about me, know who I am, and that's all that matters to me at the end of the day. Life moves on. A fight's a fight. The world still spins. Like it's no big deal, you know?
That has to be so important. Like it feels like you've had like a good group around you for a little while now, and it feels like you're in a great place in terms of like the mental, again, emotional framework and stuff like that. So it would seem like an ideal time to be making your UFC debut in that kind of sense and whatnot. Just speak to how important it is to have, I guess, those aspects of your personal life in order. And I mean, that perspective is great too, just realizing that, a fight's a fight and the world goes on almost regardless of what the outcome is, so to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's by design. Like I went through a period of time in my life where I was not very happy at all, and I had to make some really big changes and make some really big choices to fix that. So moving back to my hometown was part of that, and then finding the people that will create a good environment to train in was another you know ingredient to get the desired results I needed. But my one coach always says environment is stronger than will, and man, when you're around people that are miserable, you're going to be miserable. But when you're around people that like are positive, not like naively positive, but like happy to show up to training, happy that you're there, ready to work hard, it's really, really powerful. So my advice to anybody is like always pay attention to who you surround yourself with, and not always like if you're upset or whatever, you're not going to point fingers. Like you should always look at yourself first, but sometimes it can be like your surroundings that are making you in a certain state, and they might have a bigger influence than you think. So that was having that realization was huge for me. So I'm really happy with the people in my life, and I go out of my way to help them because they help me, and it's just a nice feedback loop in that way. It's sustainable.
Yeah, kind of pouring into each other, like filling each other's cup, however you want to phrase like that type of thought. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just like you said, speaks to the importance of like who you surround yourself with, like even in terms of the collective of people you're with, but it could be even like the town you're in, or just, yeah, just there's a certain something to feeling like centered and have that like assured kind of obvious calmness about it, I guess.
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
No, it's great stuff, and it's a cool journey to see and everything like that. And I was seeing you've been in a couple of couple of little movies here. I saw you were making a comment about how like you're not really an actor per se, but you're like I can do my own stunts. Like who knows? Maybe we can get more of those popping off with the UFC debut and everything like that. Maybe we can parlay it into some more stuff there and everything if you're inclined to do that, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, if the right opportunity comes up, but it's not something I'm going to pursue because life is busy. I have a lot of goals in life that I want to achieve. Like, I want to become a firefighter for the city of Calgary. I work EMS, so I want to move into fire. It's just it's just way better. You don't get literally shat on, so I would like to move into fire. And then obviously I want to have a family of my own one day, and those things are priority to me over, all the noise. So, but if it comes up, the timing's right, then yes, but I'm not going to be chasing that kind of thing, I think.
No, that's incredibly important. Has the goal of, being in firefighting always been like a centered kind of goal for you, like something you've always really wanted to pursue and everything like that?
For the last number of years, it has been just um, when I decided to move back to the city, that's kind of when I decided to do that because the way that Calgary Fire Department works is you don't have to have your 1001s to do it. So I wouldn't have to go back to school. Their schedule would support like my pursuit in having a family myself. So it was just one of those obvious things in my mind that I'd want to do. And it's just the camaraderie in the tri-services like fire, police, EMS is an environment that I'm very much used to. And I think fire is specifically fire is more like being with your bros at the gym. So I think I would fit in very well there. Like I love EMS. I love um the chaos of the job and like the intensity of the job, and the people that I've worked with are very close to me. My old partners in EMS are coming to my fight in Vancouver as well, so they're very close to me. But yeah, I think my big goal is to become female Stipe. That's like another big goal on the list. So I'm gonna make it happen. When I say I'm gonna do something, I usually do it. So it'll probably happen.
Yeah, hey, I have no reason to doubt you. I mean, your track record speaks to you, setting out goals and accomplishing them. So, no, that's really cool. I love to hear that. And there is a lot of similarity, as you kind of mentioned. Like, there's a certain camaraderie among your peers kind of piece. There's a certain intensity of the direct nature of the work. So, yeah, certain transferable elements that do make a lot of sense. And I was kind of thinking that. So, it's funny that you said that about the female Stipe comment. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. You're spot on. Yeah, it's like transferable. Like I think fire is very much like the way that they function is a team, and it's something I just want to be a part of. I'm just drawn to it, and I think I'd be good at it. 90% of their calls are medical anyhow, so I have the experience, and yeah, I'm real strong. I can drag a hose, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, I know you're good to go. And I mean, like we're kind of talking about, I feel like you're someone who, if you set your mind to something, you're going to figure it out one way or the other anyway. But it's been great talking to you, Melissa. I do want to be mindful of the time. The time is kind of getting away from me a little bit. I want to be cognizant of the busy schedule that we've touched on a couple times. So, in that spirit, is there maybe like a final parting thought you wanted to add as we're kind of wrapping up here? I appreciate you making time on the MMA Canada platform to talk today.
Um, yeah, I mean, I guess I could take this opportunity to thank some of my sponsors that have been supporters of mine for the last number of years. They've always believed in what I'm doing, and here I am, and they're still helping me out, so it goes a long way. So we got Robin from Athletes Arena. He's believed in me in day one, so I thank him a lot. And then Travis from Dusty Rocks, he's been great. And then my brother-in-law's childhood friend, Matt Brown, he's a criminal defense lawyer, so he recently jumped on the Croden wagon of support. So yeah, those people have helped me out this camp, and I appreciate those people very much. And yeah, as far as anything else, like I'm just really excited to get in there. 2 weeks to go, and yeah, you'll see me in there on the early prelims, and I'm gonna show what it's like to be an Albertaner.
No, I love that spirit. The Western Canada fighters definitely always bring it. So I can definitely see that transpiring on October 18th. Super exciting fight with Tainara, Lisboa, and kind of like what I was saying earlier in the conversation, this UFC debut feels like a long time coming, Melissa. So appreciate you making the time. I'm stoked to check out your fight and the entirety of UFC Vancouver. All the best with the remaining couple weeks until then. But until then, you have a good rest of your day and a nice weekend. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.